My name is Miguel Amortegui. I'm a photojournalist. I'm from Colombia. My grandfather, he had 5 kids, and one day, when they were older, he gave them each a camera. And he said, I don't care if you're a photographer or not. I just want to give you this and teach you the skill. And one day, maybe you are somewhere far away, you might need this to save you, to survive. On my career as a photographer, I specialize in a particular job, which is healing photography. It's proven that everybody with an art always expresses the things that they know. I have worked with gangs in London with amazing results. I have worked in Africa with poverty. I have worked in the slums in Peru. I have worked with refugees, for example, in the north part of France, in a refugee camp called Jungle. One day when I was in the refugee camp in France, which is something very shocking to see, a place like that, because it was a place like no other. I remember one day sleeping in my van. Suddenly at around 1 o'clock in the morning, the police start to arrive. And the press start to arrive, set the cameras, set the lights. Suddenly when the cameras were ready to roll, the police started to throw tear gas and stone grenades. Some of the refugees decided to grab some rocks and start throwing the rocks at the police because they were scared. In that moment, the cameras started to roll. And suddenly, between 2 tents, there was a little girl. She was on her knees. She was the same age of my daughter, more or less. And she was on her knees, and she was screaming because she couldn't see anything and she was completely lost, disoriented. So I ran and collected the girl. That could have been a photograph for a Pulitzer Prize. Magnum, anything. The photograph that I never took because I couldn't find the courage or I couldn't disconnect myself to the moment that I was. That photograph, even though I never took it, stays in my brain like if I was imprinted. The colors, the textures, the gesture of her face, it's all there. And many times it comes to me in any situation or not even thinking about it, talking it. Sometimes it comes. That reminds me what I have to keep doing. Now we're being bombarded we're being oversaturated by images that, they're not true and, they're changed by the media all the time. But the true essence of photography is basically deliver what is happening in that moment. If you get the right frame at the right moment, you could change the whole path of a system or a country. It's up to us to wake up now because it's not an option anymore, it's a necessity. I have noticed that in countries where poverty rules the way of life, somehow the lack of comfort has been replaced by dignity. And minimal things can bring so much joy and happiness. When you manage to be in these situations and see these people, they change you. And then you start to go back to your childhood, because that's what it is. It's childhood. It's remembering when we used to be happy for small things, when we didn't judge anybody, when we just wanted to have a friend, to walk around the forest, walk around the park, hit a ball. That's where we're gonna come back. We have to go back to that childhood, to that purity. I believe that doesn't matter who you are, behind every single person there is that child that is waiting to be released again. As a man, as a human being, what it drives me is the love. Love that beats in my heart for my family. And professionally, what it drives me is to tell the stories of the invisible people that have been completely forgotten. I've been told by my grandfather and my father that photography is more than a craft, is an act of magic. It is the possibility to freeze 1 millisecond in time, an image of a reality. If something has taught me the work of as a photographer and journalist, is that to be able to talk, first we have to learn to listen. First we have to learn to put ourselves in the shoes of the other person, feel how they feel, and then we can act. We have to acknowledge the power that we have. The power is within ourselves. But we just don't realize it. Photography is a weapon of change.